Hey, welcome to Resource Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. Please continue to do so and refer me. Let's go, Brandon. Hey, I want to talk to you about something that you may have not thought about or even wanted to think about. And before you get all up in arms, I'll say it, and then I'll give you examples of why it is possible. What if the government says, unless you are compliant with our mandates to prevent the spread of the plague, we are going to shut off your electricity to your house, turn off your water, deny you services. So before you say, that'll never happen, they can't do that, that's unconstitutional, I want you to think about something. Do you think at any time in your working career, did you think that you would be fired because you were not compliant to the government mandate? Did you ever think that would happen? You could have been at your job like so many people for years, 15, 20 years. And suddenly they're saying you're not compliant, you're out of here. Did you ever think that would happen? I sure didn't. Did you ever think that the military, our United States military, would be purged by this administration and by the Obama administration for expressing their political views and their leanings towards conservatism and those who they support on and off post, exercising their First Amendment rights? Now, I do understand when you join the military, you forfeit some of your constitutional rights. But when you are off post and saying, I support this conservative candidate, and then you are called into the commandant's office or your acting commander and being admonished or demoted, did you ever think that was going to happen? Did you ever think that could not be a possibility by saying everybody has to be vaccinated like they did when I was in school? We lined up in the hallway and had to take the polio vaccine, one and done. That eradicated pretty much polio in the United States, along with other diseases. One and done. Now, to be in compliance with this administration, you are looking at a minimum of 3 vaccines in your body to be compliant. And I'm not going into why or the effectiveness or anything else. I'm just saying, have you thought about the unthinkable if they say John Doe is not compliant, he refuses, and he's self-employed, so he can't do anything there. He's not on Social Security, he pays his taxes, so he can't do anything there. So in order to make him compliant, we will deny him government services. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court and the Supreme Courts in some states say vaccine mandates are constitutional. Some states have said yes, some states have said no. Some governors have said, we're not doing that, and other governors saying, I want to do that and then some. There are people in this administration, this current administration, Ron Klein, the chief of staff being one of them, is advocating the use of military enforcement to go to all the places and all the people that have not registered or showed their passports and give them an ultimatum to be vaccinated and be in compliance or potentially be in lockdown like they did in Australia. How many Australians thought, I could never be arrested. I haven't done anything wrong. I've broken no laws other than the government mandate. And there you have plain and simple documentation of people that do not have the virus, have tested negative for the virus, but are hauled off, put in camps, locked down for a minimum of 2 weeks, tested negative again, and still not released, but held there as a punishment. Have you thought about that? And if they say, we're going to deny you public services, natural gas, electricity, water, are you prepared for that to happen? It doesn't have to be a natural catastrophe. It could be this government forcing you into putting medicine in your body that you may or may not want. So my suggestion to you is think about the unthinkable. And is it possible with this administration? I said nothing's out of range for this administration and these fanatics that are in there. You just heard Bette Midler, the nincompoop, the has-been, go off on the people in West Virginia. She doesn't know anybody in West Virginia. She's never even been there, I bet. And yet she lumps them all in there, saying you're ignorant, you're foolish, you're stupid, you're supporting, a senator that wants everybody dead because he didn't vote for a spending bill. This is how fanatical these idiots are out there. So if you're on public services and they say, we're turning off your water, and next thing you know, public works guy's out there with a big old long tool and turns off your water, and they say, until you show us your passport, that water ain't flowing to your house, and if you turn it back on, we're going to arrest you. That means you have to have water in your house stored up or access to other water. If they say, hey, we're turning off your gas or your electricity during the wintertime until you meet our standards, you better have a fireplace. You better have a way to heat your dwelling, your home, your apartment, whatever it is. You better have blankets, sleeping bags, all that kind of stuff, and a way to cook. Do you have that? These are just some of the things that are really scary to think about. And I've given you a lot of things to think about here in the past couple days. And some people don't like that. Some people say, you're a conspiracy nut, you're crazy. Am I? You think about what this administration has done. They're flooding our country with undocumented, untested, and unvaccinated, and turning them loose into our states. And we don't know who they are. You're telling me that's normal? That's allowed? That's legal? And then they wonder why the virus is spreading so rapidly amongst the people? 1.6 million illegals that we know of have crossed this border, are in our states, in sanctuary cities, untested, unvaxxed, undocumented, and here illegally. And then we wonder why the plague is spreading like wildfire. Do you hear the administration blaming them? Not a peep. He's fine with it. This administration is totally fine with it. They want to rob us of our constitutional rights. And yet anybody else that's not a U.S. citizen coming from 26 different countries, come on in. I don't care what you have. Title 42 means nothing, where we have to keep you out because you have tested positive for disease, measles, chickenpox, mumps, COVID, whooping cough. whatever else, come on in. We'll sign you up for Medicaid for free and bankrupt your state's budget. You think about the unthinkable, and then you say, is that really that far-fetched? I'm telling you this to help you motivate. Have water, have food, go to Walmart and get the little Coleman propane tanks, or go to your whatever, your hardware store, wherever it sells the big Blue Rhino propane tanks, and have some of those in your basement, in your garage, back porch, wherever you keep those. Have some on hand. You're going to want to cook. You're going to want to eat. You think about that. It's not that far out of line, in my opinion. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Please continue to do so. I really do appreciate you. It's important to get these thoughts and messages out. It's not a conspiracy theory when it becomes reality. And if you thought for 1 minute 1.6 million illegals coming across the border in 8 months, 9 months, is that far out of line, and you've got your head in the sand. Get yourself right with God. Get baptized. Greg out.